Hey everybody, President Banana back here again. This video will be just about collecting resources and understanding the buildings and tasks you can do to collect them. However, before we begin, don't forget to click that subscribe button down below to help the channel grow. Alright, so let's get into it here. So we have some buildings within our base that actually produce resources, and as you can imagine, you want to upgrade these to increase the passive amount of resources you're accumulating. Relying on just doing missions and worldview is more effective. However, you do want that extra, you want as much resources as you can be collecting so you can upgrade heroes, buildings, and research technology within the game. So we'll just start off with something simple here again, right? We got the farmland, which produces food. You can actually view the food output per hour, the power that you get from that farmland or building, and the max production time. You can also go ahead and view information regarding survivors you have assigned, and you want to assign survivors to these buildings, so make sure that you're dispatching them when you see them. If you have survivors that aren't currently assigned, you're going to see a little like icon similar to the one you see hovering over these other buildings, but with like a character with a yellow hard hat on. Unfortunately, I don't have one right here right now to show you, but you won't miss it. All right, next up we have the gold mine, which, as you can imagine, produces gold for us. Same thing, I'm not going to do this again for the other ones, but again, you can see the coin output per hour, the actual power you have from it, which goes towards your total power on your base, and the max production time. And then next on our list, we have the iron mine, which produces iron. Pretty straightforward again. Now moving on to some other buildings that are pretty self-explanatory as well, but for those of you that are new to the game, you may not fully know where everything is going and how it gets used in the game. So we have here the material workshop, which is essentially what produces material for us so we can craft gear over in the gear factory. By clicking on this orange hammer icon, we can enter the queue and we can see different options for upgrading. And the reason why those buildings that we were just talking about, these material workshops, are important is that when you go over to the crafting section of the gear factory, you can actually dismantle old gear that you don't need, right? You can merge material, and you're going to notice here on the far right, this gray material looks like a bolt or a screw cut in half. That is what's being produced from those workshops over there. So what you're going to do is you're just going to click on merge, and you can just speed things up by clicking max and going down the line. I don't think there's much of a purpose behind crafting gear that's not legendary once you have your first squad with all purple gear, just because you're just wasting material at the end of the day, and you want to get as much power as possible. All right, enough of that tangent. I think I'm going a little too far off, so let's get back onto it here. So next up, we have our smelters, which, they produce upgrade ore for your gear that is equipped to heroes. All right, so you can, again, you have all the information up top regarding what it's producing, how much it's producing, the power, again, that's associated with the building, which all, by the way, goes up as you level up your buildings. Another important reason why you want to be upgrading your buildings. Now, all right, so we talked about it, right? We said that this produces upgrade ore. With that in mind, the way you would use that upgrade ore is heading down below in your bottom left corner of your screen, click on heroes, and go ahead and just click on any character here, any hero, and go ahead and click on a gear item, and then in the middle bottom you'll see a green icon that says upgrade, and as long as you have enough upgrade ore, you're going to see a little red dot there just kind of letting you know visually that yes, you can in fact upgrade this. So you can upgrade this as much as you want. I'm just going to do it twice here because I don't really believe that, at least where I'm at in the game, I need to be upgrading this past level 15 really. So I'm going to leave it at that. All right, now we have the training base. Training bases are extremely important in this game because you're going to need as much experience that you can acquire to upgrade your heroes. And as you move up in the game, that becomes a huge focal point of resource gathering because you want to actually be able to compete and stay on top and earn rewards during events that require you to have a greater total number of power. So by upgrading this, you're going to increase the total output per hour and so forth, and it's just a little extra pick-me-up, you know, for when you're trying to upgrade those heroes on your squads. And to actually do that, in case those of you who are watching this don't know already, you just head over to the heroes like in the bottom left, as we did earlier in the video, and click on any hero, which of course I don't have any ability to upgrade right now, but you would just click on upgrade. Next up, we have the component building, and this one you're not going to see early on in the game. It will be later on, and so don't freak out if you don't see it. Okay, and it's only really utilized for that drone that's located within your drone center, and with it, you know, you can go to components and upgrade and bulk merge and all that stuff to get you up to legendary gear that you can equip to the drone itself. Alright, now that pretty much covers all the resources that you are collecting within the base. You do have a few others though. One of them being, if you're newer to the game, unlike myself, you'll have the option to do these missions on the outside of your base, and that allows you to expand your base, give you more room to place buildings and objects within it, as well as acquire material, chests, as well as resources in the game. Once you get to a certain point though, however, you're going to end up where I am, where you just have this truck called the arm truck, and you can explore and increase levels and essentially just earn rewards. I'm not going to get into it here, but that's essentially everything in your base where you can acquire things. I would like to take one moment though just to kind of remind those, or at least show those who don't know. I think a lot of newer players kind of just overlook this, but when you're doing events you get rewards, and sometimes if you don't claim them from that specific event tab, such as going up into one of the events here and clicking on, you know, here, and then actually claiming your reward. If you don't do that, it'll end up in your mail, and you can oftentimes find out that there's things in here you can claim for rewards. And if you don't know where to find it afterwards, once you've claimed those items from your mail section, head on over to inventory, and you're going to see a bunch of stuff that you can claim. You may not even realize it, but you may have tons of speed ups. For example, I had a newer player who, you know, played for about a week, and he moved up pretty quick, and he had like 80 hours of speed ups, and you know, that's pretty huge because that's typically enough to get you on to the next headquarters once you're a little ways through it. So that's something you want to keep in mind, especially for your heroes. You might have a bunch of chests in here for hero experience, and you definitely want to claim those and work on that squad 1 you have set up. Alright, that's all for the base, officially. Alright, let's go on to the world view. So in world view, you're going to have some options to collect resources. And the quickest way to do that is to click on a little magnifying search glass in the bottom left corner. It's going to pull up a little pop-up screen here, and you can do all sorts of different things from here. You can target ironheads, gluttons, and misers. All of them provide varying degrees of resources and bonuses you get for defeating them, depending on the level that you select. Now, from there, you can also go to iron mines. Of course, there's none nearby. There we go, there's a gold mine nearby. And you can go ahead and collect these. My only complaint with this is that when you look at this, right, there's only 172,800 gold to be collected, and the process of actually collecting it is pretty slow. So I don't recommend you focusing your time on doing this due to that. Instead, if you do wish to go about doing it, I would just have a squad head on out over there when you're not playing a game. So maybe you go to bed for the night and you need to use your squads for something. You can just set them off towards gold mines, the farms, or those iron mines that we just discussed about here. Next up, we have the Doom Elites, and the Doom Elites provide they give you the most bang for your buck when you go and challenge them. All they require is that when you target them, you set a rally on them, for which you can have alliance members come and assist you. Alright, so that pretty much sums up that. I will point out again, because this is something that I'm new to and I'm figuring this game out just as much as you all are. There are some things that happen in this game that have some really good resource loot that you can acquire in the game, and that is these level 10 zombie bosses. I mean, they're not just level 10, right? They can be level 5, 10, 15, and so on, but they provide you very large sums of rewards compared to the Doom Elites. Same thing with these smaller targets. They are kind of like those zombies we saw earlier within here, the Ironheads, but instead they are jam-packed with much higher rewards. And if you're going to use stamina in Worldview, I recommend avoiding attacking zombies and focus on these when this event comes up. Alright, that is it, guys. I hope this video at least kind of gives you some insight, or maybe even just explains better to you so you feel confident in everything that's going on inside your base and outside your base as it relates to resource collecting. If you guys have any questions or things that you would like to see, just hit me up in the comment section here. I will do my best to do a video on that at some point. I'm definitely trying to just knock out some of these noob videos, especially considering, I would consider myself a noob right now in this game, even at Headquarters 20. But just let me know what you guys want to see, and I'm gonna make sure that I put a video out there sooner or later. And also hopefully these videos get spiced up a bit, because even I'm struggling to stare at it sometimes. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys later.